Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And today, I'm going to present to you the Kukirin G3 Pro. So, let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. So first up, huge thanks to Kukirin for providing me this scooter that has a removable battery for testing purposes. If you want to get a scooter like that, links are below and coupon code WRONGWAY applies for a discount. Alright, so there's a lot of scooters coming from China and a lot of them look very similarly, but I think this one has a lot going for it, especially the battery, which is removable. You just take out this plug right here and then you can take it out. Boom. If you want to leave your scooter outside, you have just this to carry up to your home, which is a lot lighter than 43 kilograms of a scooter. 52 volts, 23 amp hours, so quite usual for this kind of scooter, about a 45 kilometer range with my style of riding. So something very similar to the 010Xs back in the day, and pretty much a bunch of scooters in this price category, which is around 1,200-1,300 euro. So yeah, pretty good feature right away. And then once you do carry the battery home, we have two charge ports here, exactly the same as on the scooter. And you can charge it up in about 5 to 6 hours because Kukirin does provide you with stock 2 silent chargers out of the box. I really like the charge flap here as well. Closes by itself and you can plug in the charger easily. Maybe with two hands a bit easier than with one hand, but yeah. The charging plug or socket is nice as well. So you can both charge the battery separately and with the charge ports that are located here on the scooter. And as we are already here, there is some foam. I mean, it doesn't look very professional, but at least it's there. On a Fido e-bike, we didn't have that, and the battery was rattling around. Here it is not rattling around, fits very snugly, and putting it back in, everything looks very tight. And now then, you're probably worried, what about the waterproofing? Here we have IP54. We do have some sort of gasket all around this battery casing. I wouldn't trust it with a torrential downpour, but anything less than a tarantula downpour, I guess we'll be fine. Then you lock it up and we have a code here which you can set up so nobody just steals your battery. I don't think that is very safe. I believe if someone watches this video, especially a thief, it will be a bit easier to steal this battery rather than something that has just screws. That's what we get here, just a pretty simple code. I guess the lock-picking lawyer could open that in 10 seconds. Now the scooter is definitely no slouch and we have two 1200 watt motors. Kukirin claims that it can go up a 35-degree slope. All right, so this is my 30-degree incline, about 28-30 degrees. So let's try going up there with the Kukirin G3 Pro. And go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. That was so little left. Look, just a meter. But I was really trying. I can try again, but I think it can be just the same result or worse. But I don't have much fear going down because of the phenomenal brakes on the scooter. Woo. Okay, I'll try going up with a little bit more speed. Maybe turn off the lights. Can't really go up 35 for sure, and barely 30. So a bit more speed, leaning forward, slowing down, but yeah, can do it, but I mean, this would be like a meter longer, but it wouldn't be able to do it again. So about 25 degrees is the limit here. A little bit underwhelming, I have to say. But still, it provides a lot of torque, and I believe this is more than enough for your day-to-day tasks. Mind you, the heavier you are, the worse the performance will get. The top speed is around 65 kilometers an hour. I didn't test that, I just ride chill in the city, and with a lot of regulations coming up in various countries all over the world, I wouldn't suggest going fast on the scooter, well, pretty much anywhere. Now, a good thing about the Kukirin is the braking capabilities. Those are like imminent. They're so powerful. And the stopping power, whoa! Too powerful. We have hydraulic brakes here. Those are 140 millimeter discs. I always have to read Can never gauge it with my eye. But the brakes are very, very sharp, and they are really good, especially compared to mechanical brakes. Great stopping capabilities. So this scooter looks a little bit like it's like, I'm not like the other girls, or I'm not like the other boys, but it kind of is, but at the same time just a bit higher quality. And we can see it by the lights that are here. So we have lights on the side, reflectors that are wonderfully integrated here in the swing arm. We have great taillights, check those out. And those blink when you're braking. We have a set of front lights. Those lights are just sort of to see the scooter, and this one has a cutoff beam so it doesn't blind others when you're riding. So you can see that the beam is very focused. It won't blind others on the street, which is the most important thing for me. Not the brightest light, but it will do in city scenarios. Maybe just not for like heavy off-roading. The suspension is also something greatly improved compared to other scooters that I've been testing. Now, there is no setting to the compression or the rebound, but it's just not like a pogo stick sort of. It's genuinely dampening the impacts, and it feels sort of a little bit like a sports car when you're driving it. It's very grippy, and you are not just bouncing around, it just feels like suspension. So most scooters behave nicely or ride nicely when you are on a concrete path. There's no potholes here, and definitely, I have quite a bit of fun when riding in these conditions. But what about off-road? Well, let's put it to the test. And here you can feel like the suspension is definitely on the harder side. It's not as soft as, you know, I would like it to be perhaps for off-road riding. Your hands will get tired, probably your legs as well, just because there's quite a lot of vibration, but the bigger bumps are actually not that badly absorbed. Like the smaller ones, that's what you feel a lot of. Definitely a lot of torque. We have a small incline here. Let's go to a stop, and no problem with getting up, but not, you know, not super extra powerful. Like, I kind of miss testing a hyper scooter. Maybe that's something that I could do in a future video. But going on this off-road path, I can even speed up a little, 50 kilometers an hour. I don't know how fast it is via GPS, but it feels planted, I have to say. Not too bad, not too shabby, this scooter. And this is the VMAX, actually. I'm holding on the throttle with maximum force. Couldn't go any faster. Maybe if I... Oh, sorry, let's slow down for cycling. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe if I would duck down, I could go even faster, but yeah, I'm not sure if it actually can do the 65 that is advertised. And going up to speed. Not too shabby, actually. I'm quite impressed. It feels very solid, even at those speeds, although that's not something that I would recommend you to do on the scooter. Bigger bumps here. Oop. Remember about those brakes being the opposite way around. Now there's further sort of quality features on the bottom. The front mudguard, very tough plastic. I don't think this will come off on its own. In the middle we have the kickstand, which is also quality. Feels nice. Like, listen to that. It might not be like a G-Wagon door closing sound, but it's a lot better than something janky. And in the back we have another durable mudguard in the back. Slightly too short, so you might get your ass wet when you're riding in the rain. But yeah, this feels nice. It feels sturdy. And I really also like the touches on the kick plate here, on the foot plate, kick thing. We have a little bit of rubber here, just like the rubber here, which is easy to clean. It's with some nice orange accents, and even the screws have an orange accent. I really like that. Now Ratlus, who is behind the camera, huge thanks for helping me record this video, reminded me of a word which really reminds me of the scooter. Robust. So this scooter, like, no creaks. This feels sturdy, and the mechanism in general, the folding mechanism, feels pretty good too. So naturally, this is a folding scooter. In order to fold it, you just spin this knob and get it out. There's another locking lug, which you need to pull out, I believe. Let's do that. Boom. And the whole thing folds into place, and we have another hook which grabs into the kick plate. 43 kilograms isn't light, but I don't know. If you take out the battery, it'll be a lot lighter, and you can put it into a bigger car trunk, but oh man, this is not easy to just lift around. It will be definitely a big struggle, especially because of the weight and the size of the scooter, to bring it up some stairs, but I guess it's possible. Now, taking a look at the cockpit, we have a pretty readable screen that is adjustable, so you can adjust it to your liking, and usually I have to have it pretty flat in order for the screen to be readable in broad daylight. We have the speed here, voltage readout, which is a very welcome addition. We have the modes here. Then there's also a big battery indicator. We also see which motor mode we're in, if it's one motor or dual motor, and usually I just use dual motor as a sort of boost option. On single motor it's plenty fast. And then here it toggles automatically in between a trip odometer and a total odometer. You can see I did about 100 kilometers on the scooter. Pretty nice. And I especially also like the key ignition fob here. It really reminds me of fast motorcycles right in the middle of a stem. I don't know. I just find this sexy. On the left side of the handlebar we have a pretty nice, I guess this is even CNC machined or some sort of milled in metal piece that holds like buttons and controls of the scooter. We have the on-off button, and if you press it shortly, it toggles the modes, dual motor, single motor. Here we have the turn signals. Oh, I have to show them to you. Just press here. There's no sound, so you have to remember you put them on or you look at the display. And then here on the bottom, I mean, it's a red indicator and it's not at all visible from the front. From the back, it is visible with this light. So I guess indicators are here, but I don't know. I just think they should be orange. They should be a bit more resembling of what motorcycles have. So really have something that pokes out from the scooter and is actually visible. This is, I guess it's a nice feature, but if we had the beep here and the turn signal a bit more visible, it would be a lot better. Two more buttons left here. The horn, which is pretty well audible. And we have the lights on and off switch here. Now moving on to the right side of the scooter, we have a very, very nice throttle. Let me just turn the scooter off for a second, which doesn't have a pretty long throw, but it's good for acceleration. I just don't like the software all that much for higher speed riding, because I feel like the smallest amount of movement here just changes the speed drastically. So they could really mellow out the sort of torque acceleration curve in those higher speeds to just be sort of on when it's maximum, and here just mellow with a mellow acceleration curve. Now the brakes, again, are something that I really like on the scooter. This is called semi-log. So I guess if you take two of them together, you get a full log. It's just semi-log, so it's half full. Anyway, I really like them. They're very, very sharp. You just need to remember that the back brake is in the left handle, sort of like in a motorcycle. I mean, motorcycles have the brake in the foot, but the front brake is in the right handle. So it's not like in a bicycle, it's the opposite way around. All right, so today we're gonna do something different. We have Taju here, who also rode a lot of scooters. I'm gonna give the mic to him in order to give a first impression of someone who doesn't ride scooters now, but he used to ride a lot, but now he's on a electric unicycle. Wait, electric unicycle.
Alrighty, so, oh, Jesus, that's the problem. This is what Adam said about the scooter being so jittery. I put it on mode 3, and right now there is no place in which I could accelerate fluidly. It's always jittery, like you can see that it jumps a little. But on plus, look at that. I mean, it's really, really fast, and it's really, really, like, you know, energetic for a scooter. I like the ergonomy. Is that a word? Ergonomics of the scooter. I don't like the fact that the brakes for the rear wheel are on the left side. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not doing anything with the throttle. I'm trying to press it fluidly, and it has like this moment when it just jumps ahead. Oh, there you go. But it jumps ahead! I must say, like Taju's addendum, it's friggin' fun. It's not very nimble because the turning rate is kind of limited by the stem. There you go. Yeah, but it's zippy and it's really fun to ride. Like when I went through the pathway there, it felt really fun.
And he's up.
Yeah, so if you are looking for a scooter which is like really powerful, this is one of the most powerful scooters I rode for a long time. I like it, even though it's a scooter.
So my remedy for this jitteriness is accelerate from 0 and go just fast, and then you switch on to single motor. Like first I had a little bit of trouble to remember which button this is here, but now I have a muscle memory to just ride on one motor. But then you might say, hey Adam, what about the P settings? Well, that's a very fair question. When Taji was riding the scooter, we had the acceleration setting at 3, which is right in the middle. And now I'm riding with the acceleration setting on 1, which is the weakest one. And you can still see that when trying to keep the same speed, this thing just jitters, and I'm not really moving my thumb all that much. So really the best solution for being smooth is just turning off one motor. So for me, the best P setting for the sort of throttle response, when you press the power button on 3 times and then you have to toggle to PA, voila. Now it's at 1, press long, and then we go to actually 5, which is a lot more responsive, but at least I know when the response is, and I can really dial down the acceleration by turning off one motor. As long as you're on concrete paths, like the scooter is plenty comfortable, but once you jump onto some sort of off-road, you can feel like the suspension is, oh my god, will I do this? Okay, let's do this. I guess it's durable. Taji just started to be very afraid.
Yeah, I panicked.
You got shook, but the scooter is still the same. It's still alive, it's fine. So I guess it's robust. For most day-to-day tasks, like suspension is very nice, and like the geometry feels good. I have plenty of grip with the front tire, and you can notice that especially with 1200 watt motors and dual motor, it doesn't spin the front tire all that much. And I remember the more crappy tires that were on scooters, they would spin all the time. This doesn't. I like the position on the scooter. I feel like there's a lot of room for your feet. Like I can have 2 of them next to one another. I can have them like this. And yeah, I mean, for day-to-day riding, it just feels solid. I genuinely feel like scooters are getting more and more sort of motorcycle-like in terms of their quality. All right, so who is this scooter for? Well, definitely you need to keep in mind that it's both heavy and it's big. So if you actually want to purchase such a scooter, you will either leave it outside and take the battery inside, or you have some sort of storage compartment or a garage where you can just charge the scooter inside. The performance is okay. The range isn't great, but if you want to have something with more range, you might consider either a heavier scooter or an electric unicycle or an e-bike. This is just to get around quickly, effortlessly, and I mean, you don't need to learn how to ride on it. It's the scooter. I really like the quality, and even though it looks like a lot of scooters on the market, I feel like it has an edge in both quality and features, because everything you need is already on the scooter. Now the only question is whether it's actually weatherproof and how long it will stay in a good shape without any creaks, any faults to the battery, controller issues, etc., etc. As long as I've been testing, it's been fine, but let me know in the comments if you had any issues with the Kukirin G3 Pro. With that said, I enjoyed it. I have to say, I prefer riding electric unicycles, but I did enjoy riding this thing around, especially because of the sort of sporty characteristic of the suspension, a good rideability. The tires are also very grippy, and yeah, I think it's a very well-rounded package. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.